Hey, I'm Seb. I'm the founder and CEO of Dealflow, the next-gen invoicing platform for global companies. Dealflow helps you invoice with local accounts across the world, get paid faster and cheaper, and much more. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to get onboarded, how everything works, and what we can offer right now. Here's what I'll go through, so feel free to skip to the part that you want to see. I'll start with the onboarding. So, the easiest way to get onboarded to Dealflow is to be invited by someone who is already using Dealflow. Here, I've got an invitation from someone who is on the platform, and I will now just complete the flow. So, just enter my information. I'll insert a temporary password like this, and I'll just copy it, include it here, and make sure the email is correct. It was. Now I would choose a new password. And that's it. Now we're in the platform. And as you can see here, we now just have to complete 3 main steps to unlock the platform and finish the account setup. So we're going to start by confirming our profile info. Now, be sure to select the correct option here. I'm a company, so I'll select this one. I've already entered this information, so I don't have to do it again. Our color is energetic purple, and I'll just upload the logo later on for the Danish kroner. Then you just click submit, and you've confirmed your profile info. The next step is to set up your entity and send the test invoice. And this flow will guide you through the actual invoicing process of Dealflow. Now, to finish this step, you have to connect your own company. That means finding the legal entity that your company is represented by in this list if the company is in Denmark. Now, if your company is not in Denmark, then you can click Add New and add your business manually here by entering the information. Now, I'm just going to select a random entity here to complete our test account. Now we've added our entity, and we're now guided through the invoicing flow. So this is just a test invoice. So we'll select Dealflow as our first customer and leave the information that is automatically entered here without changing it. Click next and do the same thing here. We can change the payment terms here if we want. That doesn't really matter. We will see the last screen before the test invoice can be finished. Now we're done, and we can just send the invoice. Here you can see the invoice that was sent, and you see we completed the 3rd step, which was to set up our entity and send the test invoice. Now we just have to accept the terms, which you can find on our website as well. So continue to the final step. The final step is to verify your ID and withdraw the test invoice. And we're going to select the invoice that we want to withdraw like this. So just click this mark, confirm, and add a bank account. Add a real bank account that you want to withdraw this invoice to. And lastly, you have to upload what's called an account statement, which is a document that shows you are the owner of this account, and which is a document that we use to verify that we are actually sending money to the right person. I'm just going to upload a test file now for demonstration purposes, but when you set up your account properly, you have to upload a real account statement. And then we just click add account and confirm. Now we can see that our bank account was added successfully. We click next, and that prompts the last part of the identity verification process. Now, for this flow, you have to confirm important details about your company. And one of the important documents you have to upload is the UBO document, which is a document that lists all the important owners in your company. Now, I will upload a test file here for the demo, but when you do this in real life, you have to upload a legit UBO document. Then you select registry, which in our case would be financial services. And this is fine for me because I am the main owner here of the company. But if you're, for some reason, not a main owner, you can invite them by clicking this button. And then you're prompted to enter information about the owner and you just send an invite to them on their email. Now I'll click continue, enter some more information about the company. And if you have more owners in the company that owns more than 10% of your company, it's important to invite them to complete the identity verification flow here. And you do that by clicking this button, link entry, and adding their email to this form. And you click send, that will send an invite to them for them to also complete the identity verification flow, which will allow you to complete the account setup. And this is the fourth and last step, and I'll just enter the information. Your ID or identity verification will be in review. And once this is completed, you can withdraw your test invoice and get started with invoicing. And that's it for the onboarding flow. Now, let's move on to the invoicing creation process. To get started, click the Create button and select Single Invoice. Now, the invoice creation flow is the most important process in Dealflow. It allows you to create the invoice exactly like you want it and send it to your customers. So let's try that now. I'll choose a payer that is already verified on Dealflow, which makes the payments faster and cheaper for me. And enter some switch here, which will see you directly on the invoice itself, so you can control that exactly the right way. And now I will show you the real reason to start using Dealflow instead of any other platform. Now, if you take a look at the bank account here on the invoice, we've automatically added a Danish bank account in Denmark on the invoice that you as a customer now have direct access to, and that you can use for invoicing your customers, even though you're not in Denmark or if you're somewhere else. Now, if I were to change this to an AED currency, you'll see that the account will suddenly change to a local account in the UAE, which is the country of the payer, which will allow me as a customer to essentially access the entire global financial network through one account, which is the Dealflow account. And it gives me access to local payments, which are faster and cheaper. And when I send this invoice to this company, they can now pay in their local currency to a local account, which they know, they trust, and it's just generally faster and cheaper option. We currently offer this local account setup in 7 countries in total, and you can find these on our website. We're of course planning to add more and more local accounts as we grow, to eventually cover most of the world. But for now, let's choose to set up an AD and and send this to our customer. I'll enter information for 1 week and okay. This is the invoice summary page, and it gives you a complete summary of all the most important information about the invoice and allows you to select the payment method that you want to offer your customers to pay with. In this case, our customer can already pay this with a bank transfer, but I also want to offer our customer the option to pay this invoice with a card. So I'll add this here. Now, this looks good. So I will send the invoice like this and continue. That's good. The invoice is sent. We get a summary of the invoice here where we can see all the important information. And I'll now show you what the payer of this invoice will see on their end. Now, let's pretend we are the payer of this invoice and that we just received it in our email. The good thing about Dealflow is that each invoice you send will have the invoice attached as a PDF so that your customers can pay it via their normal invoice payment flows if they have something set up. But in this case, we already added the card checkout, which means that we'd like to pay it with a card directly in the payment portal that is integrated in Dealflow. The payment portal looks like this, and it is effectively a payment gateway that the payer can use to either pay with a bank account, where the information is added here, or pay directly with a card. And the payment was successful. Took just a few seconds, and we can now see that the invoice is successfully paid. Let's go back to being the customer that sent the invoice. So what we'll see on our end when the payer pays the invoice is that it's approved, and that we can now essentially withdraw this money to our account of choice. We can also get a clearer overview of what exactly happened in the invoice timeline. So you can see the time that we sent the invoice, when the email was opened, when the payer clicked the invoice, and when the invoice was actually paid with the card checkout. Now, this looks good, so I'll just close this down and go back to home. Now, the next step from here is obviously to withdraw our invoice so that we get the money sent to our bank account of choice. We do that by clicking the withdraw button, selecting the invoice we want to withdraw, and choosing the account that we want to get a payout to. Yes. And then entering the final information of the withdrawal. Now, in this case, we have a Danish bank account with Danish kroners, which means that we have to convert currency from AED to Danish kroners. This will add a small FX fee and no withdrawal fee. And we can easily see the exact amount that we're going to receive here. This is good, so I'll convert and withdraw this. Cool. So the withdrawal is successful, and the money from this invoice will hit our account very soon, and we can track the timeline of the payout in the invoice timeline here. And if we're curious about the status of the payment, or we want to know more about where the money is, we can just easily reach out to the team by activating the in-app chat here. So where's my money? And Lucas, the AI agent, will do that. Cool. Now, one thing that can speed up the invoice creation process a lot is to use products. Products is a way to create templates for products that you use in your invoicing process a lot. And it works by you creating a product like this. And we've now successfully added a product. This is accessible through every one of these invoicing flows. And I'll show you how that works right now. So let's choose a customer, and then you see in the information entry flow here, you can select the product and then choose the product that you want to add directly to your invoice. This way, we don't have to enter the information manually every time, but we can just select the product that we sold and add it directly to the invoice like this. The rest of the invoicing flow looks exactly the same, so I'm not going to go through that now, but products is a way to speed up the invoice creation process a lot. One thing you might have noticed is that there's many options here. We've created a single invoice, but we can also create a recurring invoice, split invoice, and a shop link. I'll go through each one of them now and show you what they do. Let's start with the recurring invoice. So let's say we have a retainer contract with a client where we just want to send the same invoice every month. we effectively want to set up a subscription. We can easily create these recurring invoices in Dealflow by selecting a new recurring invoice, selecting our customer, adding the product that we have sold, like this, entering the customer information and who we want to send the invoice to. And this is where the recurring invoice stands out from the single invoice. Select the subscription duration. How long do we want to continue sending out this invoice? In this case, I'll select 6 months, and we can also add a custom invoice sending date to start the invoice on a specific date. And we can also select the billing cycle, meaning when exactly this invoice will send again every month. So I'll select every month for this one. And that's it. This is exactly the same as a single invoice. You can select a cart checkout if you want, and you will see the important recurring invoice details here. So the subscription will last for 6 months, and we're going to send the invoice out every month. The rest works like a normal invoice, so I'm not going to do that here. But I think this should give you a pretty clear image of what a recurring invoice is and how it works. Cool. So now what if you're selling high ticket items where your customers is paying a lot per purchase and they want to now pay in installments over 3 months instead of paying everything at once? You can easily solve this in Dealflow by using what's called a split invoice, which is essentially a single invoice where you allow your customer to pay the whole amount in installments over a period of time. And I'll show you how that works right now. This is where the split invoice differs from the single invoice, because we have to choose the split invoice terms. Over how many months do we want to allow our customer to pay this full amount back? We can choose between 2 invoices over 2 months, up all the way up to 5 invoices over 5 months. Now, for this example, I'll choose 3 invoices over 3 months and a 1-week payment term per invoice. And here we see a summary of the split invoice itself. We'll see that the amount per split invoice will be 3.67 kroners, and we're going to send out 3 invoices over 3 months in total for this. I'm going to add the cart checkout as well. And you can see that the invoice account location is in Denmark. So I will set this up now. The split invoice is different from the single invoice because it's recurring. And as you can see here, we can now see a list of all recurring invoices here in the recurring tab and get a clear overview of the total invoice amount and the split of which this will be paid in. Here we also get an overview of each invoice that this split invoice includes, where the first one is one that we've already sent, and the second and the third one are scheduled. We can't see the scheduled invoices here yet because they are not sent yet, but we can see the first one, 3 of 1 here, because it's sent. And just as with the single invoice, you get a clear overview of the exact details of this invoice here, including the invoice and the invoice timeline with a full overview of the relevant events. So that's the split invoice in case you're selling high ticket items and want to offer payments in installments. And then finally, the shop link. Picture this. You're starting to get a lot of clients, you're selling the same thing over and over again, and now you just want like one link that you can send to all of your customers so they can just use that to pay every single time and avoid the frustration of having to send one invoice every time you're selling something to your customers. You can do this with the shop link, which essentially is a payment link that your customers can use over and over again, and it works essentially like a web shop checkout. And we create a shop link by clicking the button, exactly like we've done before, and giving the shop link a name. And you can see exactly what your customers will see when they click the shop link here. We're going to select a link that is open until it's canceled, and we'll create a split invoice shop links, which means that the customers will be able to pay in installments when they go to this specific shop links over 3 months. And we'll just add our product here. And that's it. So we'll see all the details here. The total amount for the split invoice is this, and each individual installment will be this amount. Now we have to add the card checkout for the shop link because that's the only payment method that we accept for a shop link payment. Now I'll go ahead and create the shop link like this, and it was successful. We get a full overview of all of our shop links here in the shop tab, where you can see the details of the shop link, the sales that the shop link generates here in a live graph, and you get easy access to the link itself, which is what your customers will see when they click the shop link. Here you see the shop link itself. You can see the installments and the details that they include, and the button that allows your customers to pay this shop link with a card, as you would expect. Now, let's go back to our Dealflow account. And that's it. You can create a single invoice, you can set up a recurring invoice, a split invoice, and also create shop links directly from the home tab in Dealflow. Now, let's say that your customers are not, for some reason, paying your invoices, and you want to set up automated reminders that reminds them to pay your invoice. You can easily do this in Dealflow by going to the invoice itself and clicking the invoice timeline like this. Here we can say that the reminders for this invoice is already turned on, and we've also been given a clear overview of when exactly these reminders will be sent. Now, and if you want to turn off reminders, you can do that as well by clicking this button. So now the reminders are off. I want our customers to be reminded for this, so I'll turn it on. And that covers the most important flows in the home tab in Dealflow, where you can send invoices, you can withdraw them, and you can automate most of your important workflows. Now, in addition to sending invoices, you can also pay invoices in Dealflow, and you do this from the Pay tab. And right now, you can only pay invoices that are sent from other companies that are also using Dealflow to send invoices. And as you can see, we are already using Dealflow to pay our suppliers and freelancers that we work with. Now, I don't have any pending invoices now because I'm been quite timely with paying the invoices that have been sent to us. But when you do get an invoice here, it appears like this, and you get the option to pay with a card or with a bank transfer. And when you do, the payment becomes faster, cheaper, and safer for the both of you, since you're both on the same payment network. Now, if you're just starting out, your suppliers will not most likely be using Dealflow. So the way you invite them to the platform is by going to the Network tab, which is your integrated CRM, and refer them to Dealflow via several options. So the first and easiest option is to use the referral link. Here you select the referral, the supplier link, you copy it, and you paste it in your message to your supplier. And when they open it, and they will be guided to onboarding exactly like I showed earlier in this demo. Second option is to invite them directly with their email. You enter the email here like this, and you send an invitation, which will land in their email inbox. And they will see the same thing as they will, as if you were using this link. Now, a third option is to add the supplier manually here, so you can do the work a bit for them. And then you check this box to make sure that they are invited to the platform as well. And since you've filled out information already, it will be easier for them to sign up and they will save some time. And you might have noticed that this also works for payers. So if you want your customers to also use Dealflow to pay, you can copy the payer referral link and send that to them as well. And one last option to invite your customers to use Dealflow to pay is to add a company manually here. And as you can see, we are given the option to invite this customer to Dealflow. If we now click confirm, this will add this company to our list and also send an email invite to our customer so they can also use Dealflow to pay. And the more of your suppliers and customers that join Dealflow, the easier it becomes to make financial transactions and do business with each other, because you're on the same network, things go faster, things are clearer, payments are cheaper, and it generally incentivizes an environment for business more than if you use different stacks and different platforms, and which can be a bit chaotic. Now, one important thing to remember about Dealflow is that it is not an accounting system right now. Now, this means that you still have to sync your invoices that you created in Dealflow to your accounting system to stay compliant. We have articles on our website that describe exactly how this works, and I'll be sure to include them as a link in the description of this video. Let's quickly touch upon the company settings we can access by clicking your name and the wheel here. Here you get the option to edit your company details. You get a design studio that allows you to customize your invoices after your liking, so you can adjust the color here and also the style of the invoice itself, and remove or add certain pieces of information. We can add or remove team members to allow for more effective collaboration. We can adjust our subscription plan. You can see the pricing, see our transaction history, and get on top of all the invoices that have been both sent and paid in the platform. And most importantly, we can also adjust our accounting integration here. And similarly, you can adjust your personal settings, meaning the settings of your user that is connected to the company, by clicking your name and personal settings here. There's really not much you can do here except adjusting your name. But I think it's worthwhile knowing that it is here. And of course, if you have any problems, if there's a bug, or if you think that there's something that we're not doing right, again, just send us a message, either talk to our AI agent or ask for a connection to team, and we typically respond within either just minutes or a few hours. And that's Dealflow, the best new way to make your deals flow and manage your payments and invoicing on a global scale. The features that I've showcased today are the first step in our long-term plan to create a financial agent for business owners everywhere. Now, there's a lot of very difficult, unsolved challenges ahead of us, but our vision is to enable this agent to automatically run your payments, invoicing, reporting, accounting 24/7 and deliver real work like a human would, and not just features. Our mission is to build increasingly powerful financial tools like this and empower business owners to thrive in the age of AI. We're doing this to accelerate the transition to spiritual capitalism, where there's more harmony between the spiritual and commercial success in our world. Because in the end, we are spiritual beings with a human experience and not human beings with a spiritual experience. Thank you. we're looking forward to supporting your mission. And yeah, I mean, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I'm very grateful for that. And if we do our job, you might see a retargeting ad if you haven't signed up already. So please sign up, and we'll support you. See you.